5-game NBA slate, college basketball games that I love tonight, as well as some UCL Champions League action. All that and more today on the Golden Ticket Show. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our Lunchtime Locks Tuesday edition. We have a 5-game NBA slate. We have a big college basketball slate, and we have some Champions League action that I absolutely love today. So again, let's recap yesterday. We had a 5 and 8 day. Champions League did hurt us. I was really excited about that. That game going over 2.5, and it was a 0-0 shutout. Not what you really want to see, first thing in the day, the first bet, not really the best sign, but we moved on from that. The rest of the plays were 4 and 7. We missed a couple plays by just a little bit. There's not much more we can say about that one. Rough way to start the week, but we're going to bounce back. Who thought the Titans were going to win that? Who thought the Giants would come back and win that? Or really just, yesterday, primetime games have not been my thing this year. I've just pretty much accepted it and am going to go along from there. So, but as we take a look at the rest of our slate from yesterday, we'll pull that back up because once again, we are 100% transparent with all of our plays over here. We had like I said, not the best day, 2.7 unit loss for the day. Jordan Love missed his passing yard prop by 6. He had 218. Damian Lillard cashed out on the 3-pointers. He did not. He shot 3 for 14 yesterday. He was trash. Şengün missed by 2 boards. Barkley cashed for us. The Nets came out and just blew that lead. Chicago cashed for us with a clutch overtime game. I have a couple plays for that game tonight as well. We'll get over that once we go into basketball. Minnesota with the Anthony Edwards news, I think that kind of depleted us there. I thought he was going to play, so that was my fault. Orlando with the 10-point victory. Embiid misses by 3. He had 51 point rebounds and assists last night. Just misses that line, hurts us there. The Washington Philly game did go over 243 though. It was 101-146. Our two-way parlay, Indiana and Houston, did cash. Our double-double parlay did miss. And again, we had Green Bay, Philly, and Miami in a parlay, and that did not cash. So we bounced back today. We have a couple bets for you that I absolutely love. So we're going to go ahead and start off this week with some Champions League action. Now, I'm very excited about some of these games. So if you're watching this live, you're going to catch these. These games start at 3 p.m. So a little bit of an early bet. We're going to post these on our Twitter pretty soon too. So if you are following along with us, this will be the best time to get into those bets. Once again, it's Gotham Gambling on Twitter, and for frequency's sake on Twitter, as well as it's Gotham Gambling on Facebook and Instagram as well. But the first play we're going to go over is Bayern money line and a draw for no bet. And so what that means, if you're not familiar with soccer betting, is if Bayern Munich wins this game, you get the cash. If they draw, you get a void, meaning that you get a little bit of your money back. Or you get your money back. It's kind of like if you bet an NBA game you win, but if it goes to overtime, then you get your money back situation there. Bayern plays very slow and very possessive, and they're facing a Man United team that they could potentially send out of the Champions League, and they could potentially send into Europa, the second-tier league for Europe, with a win today. Man United has been abysmal this year. It's not a team that I'm super happy to bet for, other than the the over on the totals, because their goalie's terrible. I thought Onana was going to be really good this year. He has struggled. Their defense has been really bad. In the Premier League, they're the only team that is in the top 10 of the 20 teams in the top 50% of the table and has a negative goal differential. They're -5 in their goal differential, and they're a top 5 team, which just shows what their offense is doing. Like, when their offense is kind of clicking and they're winning by 1, but when they're losing, they're getting blown out. So with that being, they're getting a lot of draws too, which doesn't help that case. But with this, Bayern's already clinched their group. A win here kind of secures a little bit of an easier bracket for them in the next couple of rounds. But it's really a meaningless game unless you really want to see, unless they really just want to say, let's put Man United down low where we don't have to worry about them in case they start figuring things out. So I like Bayern there. Not to mention, in meaningless games at the end of Champions League over the last 5 years, they're 4-0-1. They have not lost. They're 4 wins and a draw in those games. So look for them to kind of continue the streak. You could take the money line. It's at +110 right now, I believe. I'm going to check that, see if it's moved any. It's +140 now. So if you think they're going to win, and you read up some of these stats and see that you think they're going to take this game, I would take that straight up right there. So that's our first one. We have Bayern money line and a draw for no bet. The next one is, and by the way, all these plays are going to be down here at the bottom. We're going to update it as we go for the rest of our slate as we go through everything. So make sure you guys do check that out. I'm going to actually add those in here in a second. But yeah, so Bayern money line, draw no bet is probably my favorite play today, honestly, because I really am getting tired of just Man United getting lucky with these terrible games. And Man United can technically still make it with a win, so I think putting them under is going to really help. So, and the next game we have is going to be, God, I don't even know how to really explain this one. It's Madrid versus Union Berlin. Both teams to score. So, and all you need in that one is just both teams to score. It's essentially the same thing as if you said both teams score a touchdown in an NFL game. We just need goals. Union Berlin needs a draw or a win to stay alive, while Madrid has essentially secured their spot. They can't do any worse than second, and the top 2 move on. But Berlin needs to score here, and they need to go for a win. A draw kind of puts them in a tough position where they got to rely on some other teams to lose. So they're going to want to go for the win here. And Madrid is expected to play their second unit today. And they're going to probably rotate a couple guys in to get them some minutes and not risk injury, with a couple big games in La Liga coming up as well. So I'm looking for them to possibly put out like 5 or 6 second unit players and then sub more off as they go on. But even with their second unit, they are very offensive focused, offensively strong team. So I really like them to really put up a good amount of points today. I like a lot of shots from both teams. I think Union Berlin is desperate. They're not going to want to go out on their home turf with a loss. And Madrid's not that good on the road. In Champions League as well as in the Liga, they have struggled on the road. They have struggled leaving Spain in a lot of these international matches they've been playing. So they've been giving up about 2.5 goals per game on the road. So I like them staying on the road today, giving up at least a goal and at least scoring one back. They're a great offensive team, and I'm really excited to watch this game. This will be the one I'm watching, even though my Gunners Arsenal are playing right now. This is what I like. These are my 2 bets. We are 0-1 so far for the week. We're going to keep our recap going as we go on. But Nonetheless, we are going to rock out with these two bets right here. Again, that's Bayern Munich to win or void on a tie, and Madrid and Union Berlin to both teams to score in this game, no matter the circumstance, as long as both teams put a ball behind the keeper. The bet wins. That's what we're going to rock with. Placing that in now. In the comments, let me know actually what was your biggest hit last night. If you took anything big last night that you guys really liked, let me know so I could see, what you guys are kind of liking parlays. You guys kind of look at player props. You look at, I don't know if you get anyone uses Pickett. They just put their year in review out. And it really kind of showed that I really apparently like Julius Randle, no matter how much he stresses me out. Apparently I bet on him the most out of any NBA player. Apparently I had almost 1,000 bets involving Julius Randle over the last year. So that just shows how much I like betting on the Knicks here in New York. I mean, I've seen enough games in person, and this is my favorite thing to bet. So I'll take that. If you are on Pickett, let me know what your top one is. If not, and you want to join Pickett, it's the sports betting community. Everyone posts their plays there. You can get people access to professional bettors like myself and their plays. My code is free throw 6100. I'll put that in the comments as well. So if you guys want to join in one of the best communities in gambling and get some insight from top professional bettors across the market, Pickett is the best place to go for that. Moving on to college basketball. Now these plays are going to be put up again as we go. We're going to have more plays throughout the day. So this is just our first look. We're going to look at the slate here in a couple seconds and see if there's anything else we really like. But right now, the one I really like is USF versus Pine Bluff. USF minus 17, and I'm taking the under in this game. Now, so my reasoning behind that is this. I'm going to try to pull up some of these stats here and share them with you guys. So, all right, you can see right here, we're looking at Pine Bluff is probably the worst team in the country. This season, they have not won a game since the 13th, so they are about to hit 1 month without a win. They have not played any good teams. They started off with a 22-point loss, and then they hit a streak where they they actually won a couple of days ago, but that was against a Division II team, I think, or a Division III team. So, but if you look at in their 11 games, their last 3 games have all been on the road against top 50 teams. They gave up 107 points to Oklahoma. They gave up 111 to Gonzaga and 101 to Connecticut, while playing a terrible defensive team, putting up 86, 71 against Gonzaga. They've had a 38-point, 40-point, and a 21-point loss over the last 3 games. So, and that's the main reason why I took this minus 17 right here. Yes, USF has not covered this in, I don't think, almost any real legit game this year. I mean, you look, they lost against Maine, they lost against Hofstra, they lost to UMass, but the big one here is at home, they beat FSU by 16. Now, it's not 18, but look, they were an 8-point underdog. And if you look at some of these games, they've only been an underdog twice this year. And the 2 games was a Wichita State team who actually that's not even this year. They've only been an underdog twice this year. They lost by 10 and 1 to a team that, it was a last second 3 that put the spread over. And they beat a team by 16 when they were an 8-point underdog. If they have pretty much struggled on the road, as you can tell, their first 2 road games, they got blown out and beat by 10. But I think there's an uptick in how they're playing lately. This spread has only been covered once this year, and that was against South Carolina State. But I think they cover it tonight because the Arkansas Pine Bluff only covers in terms of 3-point shooting. And with USF being in the top 50 in 3-point defense this year, letting up less than 35% from three, I think this team is going to have trouble because there is no height in Pine Bluff, and USF has about 3 or 4, 6'7" to 6'9" guys that can guard them. So I like that there. And the other part of this, I'm going to pull this back up. I've seen people take this at 158. That's when I was first aware of looking at this one. But I'm taking the under 161, and this is why. FSU is a top tier offense. This is their second highest scoring game this year at 88. They had a 96-point performance. They've only scored 160 once, and that was the last game against an FSU team that kind of struggled a bit. It was kind of a weird game, but look, most of their games have been around the 135 to 145 range. If you could kind of see here, like 129, 122, 139, 131. When they got to their home games, they're averaging, only one game besides FSU has went over 140. You at 139 against Northern Illinois, Central Michigan, who's a lot better offensive team than USF, 68, 63. So this team, the only reason these have covered the over is if you look, blowout, 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 blowout. They've only covered this line in 2 games, and it was a game where they were the team blowing out a Division III team, and a game against Minnesota, who was one of the slowest paced teams in college basketball. So I really like the under here. I'm taking that one. That's probably my favorite play right there, is the under on this game for USF and Arkansas Pine Bluff. So make sure you guys lock that in. I think as we get closer towards game time and we see a little bit more about injuries and stuff, this line will move a bit. So make sure you guys check that out. I would take this all the way down to 158.5. I think they're both teams getting, close to 160, 163 over the last 2 games would make me not want to take it under 158. So make sure you guys get that in at that. And we have one more college play, and I really like this. Is one that first look I thought it wasn't going to be that great, but I really love it. I caught this at 12. It's at 13, so I would still take this at 13. Oral Roberts plus 13.5. Now, they had a weirdly good run in the playoffs last year. If you look here, they've covered this in every game this year except for one, and that was a 15-point loss to Missouri State. Now, they haven't been the best team. They've tended to play towards how their competition is. If you look, other than, I would say, Ozark Community College and that 50-point blowout, look, they played Kansas City State. They were a 14-point underdog. Game went to 10. They played Texas A&M, who at the time was, I think, number 30 in the country. They were a 20-point underdog, and they covered by 6. They lost this game to Texas Southern, who I think is a very underrated team, and it was a 2-point loss, even though they were favored. So if you look, when they're underdogs this year, they've had 2 games as an underdog this year. It was by multiple 10, 20-point games against teams that are going to be fighting for a tournament spot, and they absolutely, I would want to say, dominated in terms because they lost, but they were very solid and they were hard to beat. And on the other side here, if you look at this Texas Tech team, when they have been favored, other than, some of these blowout games at home, they've struggled. They couldn't cover against Butler, which in a game a lot of people thought they were going to win. Michigan, they covered with a struggling Michigan team, who I think this was actually the game after they lost to Long Beach too. So this was a game that Michigan was just kind of reeling. Northern Illinois, they couldn't cover, even though they were 7-point favorites. Villanova, they couldn't cover. They were a 4-point favorite, and they lost by 16. So when they're favorited by a lot of, look at this, 20, anytime they have been favored by more than 10 points, they are 2-2 against the cover. And the only 2 was against a local Texas school, that low D1, almost borderline Division II level school. And against. I don't even know who NEOM is. I'm about to check that, see who that actually is, because I don't even actually recognize that school whatsoever. Let me find it. Oh, it's Nebraska Omaha. So, and Nebraska Omaha this year has gotten beat by like Corpus Christi, Bellevue, Air Force, like TCU. Their only wins this year have been against Division II schools and Division III schools. So that was a game they should have won by more than 20, and they did. So, but if you look, other than that game, every time they've been a favorite so far this year by more than 4, they have only covered in 1, and that was Texas A&M. I think it's Corpus Christi. So I'm rocking with Oral Roberts here. The Golden Eagles, I think, is their mascot. I'm taking them here. That's going to be my go-to for sure on this one. So feed me a nice, hard-fought game. I think Texas Tech is probably going to come away with this win because Oral Roberts doesn't look like they're kind of covering a lot, but I like them to keep this one close. So there we have it. That is all of our college bets for today. After the break, we are going to come back with some NBA action. So stay tuned.
My name's Ryan Allison. I've spent over a decade immersed in the art of tattooing. Sharply honing my skills has materialized into a diverse and prestigious body of work. Each tattoo reflects my relentless pursuit of excellence, and every client I work with is a living embodiment of that unwavering commitment. I will gladly and wholeheartedly embrace your distinct vision.
And we're back. Welcome back, everyone. We are on to some NBA action. Now, look, we have an NBA same game parlay insurance. We have a no sweat bet. We're actually going to make a play for all that after our next break. But for now, I'm going to go over the there's a couple plays I really love today that we are going to be rocking with. Simply put as this, there's a couple games I love. There's a couple games I'm iffy on. Since it's a 5-game slate, we're going to break everything over quick. Now, this started as a 1.5 point favorite this morning. It's kicked up to 3. I get there. The Lakers are going up against a Mavericks team that is out pretty much half their scorers. So I wouldn't even worry about the spread here. I would just take the under because we've seen Luka take over in games like this. We could potentially see the Lakers coming off a high off their championship and just kind of get brought back to earth. And it's funny, the margin of victory for the Lakers after more than 2 days rest is like negative 6.5. So they usually lose these games. When they win, it's not very, very much. And the Mavericks on a back-to-back have a plus 2.5 margin of victory. So they're usually better after on a back-to-back than they are with rest. So I don't know if that might be, I haven't checked too far into it. That could be from having a blowout one game and being able to sit players. It could just be them being able to, quickly turn around and say, hey, we have, this is what we need to fix right now, and then fixing it. I don't know. I'll have to look a little bit farther into that one. But if I'm taking anything in this, I would probably take the under, probably close. If it goes down another point, I would stay away. Because this was 234 when I first looked at it and thought about that. So 232 might be a lean. I wouldn't put a lot on it. This game, I've been seeing a lot of interesting kind of chatter about it. Like if you see there is, I have a bet you'll see coming up here in a second on the bottom of the screen with this. Jason Tatum scored 25.5 points. If you're a Prize Picks guy like myself, he's currently discounted at 22.5. So that's something to look at as well. But Cleveland just came off a tough fought game and they lost by 10 on a back-to-back traveling from Florida to Boston, and Boston's on like 3 days rest. So I get why the spread's this way because Mobley is probably out again tonight, but I would be remiss to say be careful with this because while it seems like, oh, it's Cleveland, it's two playoff contending teams, why is the spread so high? There's a reason these spreads are high. So that's something to watch out for in that one. But again, we'll go over some of these plays later. Nuggets and Bulls. The big thing to watch in this one is we're probably not going to see Jamal Murray tonight. We're probably not going to see Aaron Gordon tonight. And the Nuggets, who have not been a good road team, are going against a Bulls team coming off a very tough fought game. They could be riding that high to kind of get over their tiredness because, yeah, they haven't played in a couple of days, but they had 7 players play over 30 minutes. They had 3 players playing 40 minutes yesterday. So that is something to look out for in this one. We do have a play on this that we're going to go over in a minute, but be careful with the spreads here. Be careful with the money lines. I think this could be a little too high for what it's at right now. If this was closer to 200s, I would maybe take it with like a Celtics money line or that's a 179. I don't think that's worth betting. If this was closer towards like a 140, I would definitely take it. But yeah, so Warriors Suns, I love the Suns in the spot. I'll go over this one a little bit more later. But I have a couple really good plays I like for this one. So we're going to go ahead and go over this one. Both of these teams played last night. The Clippers had a little bit more of I don't want to say, like, they had a closer game than the Kings did. But I had something on this earlier. I might have to re-go back on my notes over the break, but I like the Clippers in this spot. I think with going off the back-to-back for both teams, I got to look at their record again. But if I would take anyone, I would just take Clippers money line here. The Kings have not done well when they've went to Staples Center. And I just feel like this, you're going to end up having Harrison Barnes and Keegan Murray guarding Paul George and Kawhi. And with Harden kind of picking up his pace here, I think that that's something to look out for, is that Harden is playing a lot better. He's moving a lot faster and his facilitating's got better. They've kind of finally gelled as a team to figure out what needs to happen to win games. So I would just stay. If you take anything, I would lean the money line here. Maybe take a couple player props, like an alternate to make a little like 2-leg parlay or something. But I feel like this game could go either way. I think it's it should be a lot closer than it actually is. I think this is probably at a pick 'em, but I would still lean the Clippers here. So we have that. And then now we're going to go on to, we have 3 best bets for today's action as of right now. We're probably going to have a little bit more later on, but like I said, I came straight off work to here, so I didn't have as much time to go over everything as I initially wanted to. But our 3 best plays are going to be, first one is going to be Nikola Jokic over 21.5 rebounds and assists tonight. That one is at minus 125 on DraftKings. It's the best place I've found it so far. And I'm going to go over why I love this line so much, as I'm going to pull it up here in a second. So let me switch off of DraftKings and show you guys this. So this is his line over his last 10 games. We can obviously look at without Jamal Murray in case Murray is not playing tonight or if he's getting kind of a limited role. But in his last 10 games without Murray, he's hit this 6 of his last 10. But the big thing to look at is head-to-head against the Bulls in the last 2 years. He's hit this multiple times. He's hit this 2 times. The only time he hasn't was a 23-point blowout and a 21-point blowout. yeah, that's the other thing to look at with these two teams is that Denver has, in the last 4 games, has won by as little as 12 points and as much as 23 points against this team. So that's something to look at too if you're taking just the money line. But the thing is he cooks Vucevic. He's been doing well. I've seen a lot of people take his over 9.5 because he's averaging 11.5 assists per game against this team. But that's mainly because last year the last 2 matches in the end of 2021 and the beginning of the 2022 season, he had 15 and 14. And the one game so far this year, he missed this line with 9. So I would just be careful betting that. I like that, but we've seen Jokic just decide not to shoot and only crash. That's why I like this over 21.5. Not to mention, in back-to-backs this year, Jokic has hit this line in 2 of 3 games. Including the one in Chicago where he had versus Chicago where he had a 16 point or a 16 rebound game. So breaking news just came in. Kevin Durant is actually out for the Suns game. We're going to go over that in just a second here. But Jokic seems to hit this line. Let me check my projections again, but it has him closer to like 22. I've seen a couple lines have 23 as its odds. So I really like this at 21.5. If you're not as comfortable, you could find it on DraftKings and an alternate or on FanDuel for an alternate and then put that with like something like Nuggets money line, or you could even find like another player's like player props like Booker 20 points, Tatum 20 points, kind of knock that number down just a bit. But I like that line right there at 21.5. It obviously makes me nervous, but Jokic should be able to crash the boards going against the Chicago team where Vucevic, Patrick Williams, DeRozan, they all played over 40 minutes last night. And against Drummond, I don't think Drummond only really dominated the boards last night because he was going in lineups against players who were not board dominant. He was only having to guard Giannis basically down low. So I like this again for Jokic. That's going to be our first play. Our second play is Suns minus 3.5. And I want to kind of see how this line changes with the news. They actually just took it down off of DraftKings. So I think they're trying to rework the line here. But I'm going to update when we see that. So we're going to go to this game. So yeah, look, no active markets. They took it off completely because of the Kevin Durant news until they find something out. So let me go over why I like minus 3.5 real quick while I can. The reason why is this. They have played the Suns and the Warriors have played each other twice already this season. In both of those games, the Suns have won. And if you look at their matchups versus the Warriors this year, they won by, I don't know if I could find it. They won by 8 and they won by 4. So both times without Bradley Beal, and with Kevin Durant out tonight, if Bradley Beal plays, I still think they're fine. Even if he's not in, I still like this because the Warriors defense has struggled while the Suns have figured out how to play without their stars and they figured out how to play with their stars. There's not really any mix up between the two. So I really think that they're able to put something together in this game. I think they're going to be able to cover. I want to see what the spread does. If the spread moves to an underdog, then I might be a little more cautious with it. So I'm hoping that gets updated soon so we can but even more, it just means I like the player props lines for Booker, especially the one I got earlier today, because with Kevin Durant out, his rebound and assist lines have went up. There we go. This still has it up. So let me pull it up head to head. If you look the last 2 games, the Warriors have not been able to cover. The spread was 2.5 as an underdog. They lost by 8. When they were a 2.5 favorite, they lost by 4. So this is And if you look historically between these two teams, they've covered that. But not to mention, the Suns are in a bit of a struggle stretch before the in-season tournament. If you look, they lost 5 straight games, and they could not cover whatsoever. The only time they did cover this, I'm lying, they beat their one of their last 4. The only time they covered this line was against a Memphis team, whereas you're going against a Warriors team here that is currently on a 3-2 stretch, but they've covered in 4 or 5. I still like them here. I think this is a great get back spot for the Suns. So I'm going to rock in with the Suns -3.5. That's what we're going with here. And that is 2 of our best plays. We have one more. It's going to be probably adjusted a bit, but I do still like it. So I caught this at a -130 today, but I like Devin Booker over 24.5 points and Devin Booker to record 4 rebounds. The line didn't move that much, actually. Look, I got it popped up right here. -2. It only moved down 1.5 points with the news of Kevin Durant out, which means they still believe in the Suns. So I'm still rocking with Phoenix here. My next one, I'm going to look and see how it has adjusted on here. Let me see here. They don't even have props up for them, so they're still figuring it out. But I caught 25 points for Booker and 4 rebounds at -137. It will probably be closer towards a 200 range, maybe like a -170 kind of thing. So that is something to look out for in this one. But the reason I like that one is Booker's averaging 29.5 points per game against the Suns in his last 2. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5. I just don't see any reason why he won't hit 28.5, but the fact that his last couple games he's finished right at 28 and 29 kind of worry me. So his line's obviously going to go up now, which is why I'm even more happy about getting 25. So I think he'll for sure hit 25 tonight, unless they just play like the greatest lockdown defense game ever. And him getting 4 rebounds should just be a lock. But if anything, you could probably add 4 rebounds, 4 assists into there, or even like over 7.5 rebounds assists. And that should be a pretty solid lock for you as well. So those are our 3 best plays right now. It's Jokic over 21.5 assist rebounds, Suns -3.5, or you could take it at -2. And Booker, 25 points, 4 rebounds as a parlay. When we come back, we're going to go over, how to use some of your parlay boosts today. And we're going to put together a couple parlays using DraftKings Tuesday Night Insurance, their No Sweat, and any other boost we can kind of find. We got these UCL boosts, NHL boosts up here, and we can kind of go through. So after the break, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to build you guys a winning parlay together.
Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973, and with over 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all of your home improvement projects. This family-owned business has you covered on all your needs. Protect your home or building from the elements today and get great roof repair services. Need new windows? No problem. Durham Remodeling can upgrade your windows and doors. Whether you want to upgrade the little details in your home or office, or want to tear a room down and start fresh, the expert contractors at Durham Remodeling have your back. Even the smallest changes can completely transform your space. Ready to start entertaining your friends for backyard barbecues? Durham Remodeling will help you plan, design, and build your deck and patio for the perfect outdoor space. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 today for your free estimate for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715.
Alrighty, we're back. We're going to make you guys a winning parlay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over which one we're doing first here. We are going to take this one right here from DraftKings. It is placing, if you place a 4-leg same game parlay and one leg misses, you get your money back. So we're going to go over. We have to have a minimum odd of 300 or longer. Can't have anything below 300. So we've already opted in, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to set up our filters, and we're going to go ahead and break this one down live. So obviously we're going to do over. Alternate lines are available, and we're going to have it set for all propositions. Or no, I'm lying. We're going to do assists, points and assists, points, rebounds, assists, rebounds, because they won't let you do rebounds, assists on DraftKings. And we're going to do these right here. So what game should we pick? I want to let you guys do it, but I think we're going to do this one to honor my good boss, Doug. I'll do it on his Bulls game. Why not? So we have 73 available props within this range right here that we can choose from. So I'm just going to try to come up with the best one possible that I can find. So let's start with this first leg right here. Kobe White over 2.5 threes. Now, if you see here, Denver gives up the 5th least amount of threes per against point guards. They give up about 2 a game. But if you look at his numbers without Zach LaVine, in this season, without Zach LaVine, he is averaging 7, 4, 8, 3, 5, and 6. So that's what, 11, 19, 22, 28, 33 over 6 games. He's averaging 5 threes a game. So let me see what his line is for 2 threes to see if maybe that's, God, they don't even have good props up for this game either. I might have to switch that. Let me see which game has the most stuff available right now. What do you guys think? Lakers game, or should we do Celtics? I think I'll do Celtics because I'm FanDuel. I'm doing another one for the Lakers. So we'll do Celtics Cavs here. Wait, let me see something. Maybe I just hit the wrong button. But threes. Yeah, no, they're not letting you do nothing. I guess they don't even know what's going on with these teams playing a back-to-back. So sorry, Doug. I was trying to help you out there, get you something for your game tonight. But all right, we look at some of these lines that are under 200. Let me see if I can sort it by book to make it a little. So we have actually 143 props we can use for this. So we have here this first one, Drew Holiday over 5.5 rebounds. He's hit this in 5 consecutive games. Now, he hasn't played any head-to-head against Cleveland while he's been in Boston. But I'm going to Google his stats versus Cleveland. See if we could find something. Of course, that's blocked because StatMuse is a scam. So his rebound line is at 5.5. He's only hit this once against Cleveland, but he's usually been used a little bit more for rebounding, and for him to get 4 I don't know if I trust that to get 5 if he could barely get 4. Donovan Mitchell over 3.5 assists has been probably one of my favorites. This was the first time, if you look, he's hit this every game but 2, and that was the Knicks and that was Cleveland. And if you look here, even on back-to-backs, he's only played 1 back-to-back this year, actually. And he hit it with 4. Now, the problem with this is they give up the least amount of assists to shooting guards. So that one might be a little bit of a stay away, but we're going to hold on to that for now. Let's sort it by the most hits. So the most hit has been, we can try this one right here. I'll switch it to Let me switch it to a 19.5. So this 19.5 has hit in 7 of his last 10. Head to head, he has not hit it, but he's seen an increased roll this year without Marcus Smart. If you look here to point guards, they're giving up the 9th most points, but the 4th least amount of assists. So I think that might be something to look at here. The problem with this team is there's just so many options, and if the game goes bad, they're sticking with one option, and that is just that one leg is that thing is just Mr. Tatum and Mr. Brown. So I also this is one I actually do like a lot. So I'm gonna see what the odds are on because it's only showing me FanDuel odds right now, and that does worry me because no, okay, that can be used, which is good. Wait, what? Let me go back to Derek White. Let me find his PRA instead. See what that is. Head to head still isn't hit, but last 10, same thing, 7 out of 10. To point guards, they're giving up. Okay, that we're looking at least 20 there. His point rebound assist, he's expected 24. He's expected 5, 15, and 4. Or 15, 5, and 4. So we're gonna add his. We're gonna do 18 PRA for him. And see kind of what that gives us. The 18, he's hit that in his line's at 22.5. If we took that at 18, it's 9 out of 10. So I'm more comfortable with that. The next one we're going to take is Porzingis to score 15 points. If you look in his last 10 played this year, he's hit this in 7 of 10. And with Mobley out, it's going to leave him a little bit more freedom because Jared Allen is going to have to focus on Jason Tatum. So I do like that one right there. So we've added that one into the parlay as well. Let's go back. We need 2 more legs here. It needs it at 300. Do we trust Jaylen Brown here? If we look last 10 games, these are the best bets that have hit. We can take Tatum, 4 assists. We can take Derek White to hit 2 threes. We have Drew Holiday to get 10 points. His last game, he did this. The last 5 games he's played, he's done this 3 times. And playing against Cleveland, he has hit this only once. 2 games, he only scored 9 points, and in 1 game, he scored 28. So that is something to look out for. I want to see like a point line for Tatum, see what we can get at 300 because I do like that. Let me see what I can find on here. Alternate points for Tatum. I'm really curious why these guys aren't projected a lot of points, and I'm really curious about that. Maybe I had something wrong in here. I'm not sure, but let me see what his assist line is. Let's see. I want to see what this assist line has done for Mitchell because it has hit. I'm worried about a back-to-back against this team because they don't give up a lot of assists to shooting guards. But head-to-head, he's hit this in 3 of 4. So, we're making a little risky parlay here. So I'll go with it. We'll rock with Mitchell here on the 3.5 assists. And the last one, I don't know what to put here. We can't find any alternates. I want to see Tatum's rebound line. I'm actually really curious about that. What we can get that at. That's Closest thing is 7.5. He's hit this in 4 of 6. He's also hit this in 5 of his last 10. To power forwards, or do they have him mainly playing small forward this year? I haven't really seen much. I think he plays he plays the 3 and the 4 a lot. I think they switch them a lot. But if you look, yeah, he played the power forward because Holiday started. Yeah, I think with Porzingis out, they've been playing him as a power forward. But when Porzingis was in to start the year, yeah, okay, so they've kind of been taking Horford and putting him on the bench. So against power forwards, against small forwards, they're giving up 8 a game. Power forwards are giving up 8 a game. I don't mind Tatum going for 8. I'm hoping maybe like we could find like some line where it adjusts, and no, they won't even show us it at 10. But I wonder what his first quarter rebound line is. That's another one to look at because Tatum does tend to grab boards pretty quickly in the game. So I wonder we could what. So he grabs. Let's see, head to head, he's grabbed at least 2 rebounds twice. God, there isn't a lot for this one I like, but this is the one we're doing here. Tatum's assist is a curious one because I wonder why it's at 4 because I feel like he hasn't done. I feel like this game that's always a scary one. He's hit this in 2 against Cleveland. He's hit 4 or more in 5 straight. If you look here, he's hit this in 8 of his last 10 head to head. He's hit this. Okay, so that might be. Let me see what we can find on his assist line. Tatum alternate assist 3.5. Okay, so I think this is good. I think what we have is good. This is a plus 238. We're gonna rock with this no sweat bet here. Once again, that's plus 238 for you guys. Derek White, 18 PRA, Porzingis 15 plus points, Donovan Mitchell and Tatum 4 assists each. That's gonna be our I guess it doesn't meet the requirements, but I guess we'll use that one for a no sweat. Let me go. I want to see what the requirements are again on this because that's what I wanted to use it on. Was this insurance one? Does it have to meet a certain amount? No, this meets the requirement. All these legs are. Oh well, we'll do it for our no sweat bet. So that's going to be our no sweat bet for the day. And I think this is a winner. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is a great way to end the show tonight with this easy winner on tap. Once again, guys, that's going to be it for today. As the only NFL news I'm looking at now is Herbert is out for the rest of the season, so I think this total is probably going to drop even more. So I'm curious now. It's still at 34. I wonder if you could find like defensive props yet. So, I mean, if you want to take a defensive prop, you could probably take Khalil Mack to get a sack. I think they're a pretty easy to sack team. Let me check. I know like the Commanders are the worst sack team or the most sack team. So the Giants and the Commanders are the two most sacked teams. Vegas is right there in the middle, about both these teams are about 2.5. But I think with O'Connell kind of still working out his like when to go, when not to, I think he got sacked. I didn't get the chance to watch that Vikings game, and I really wish I did because I want to see how often he got sacked last week. I know we're cutting it kind of close. He got sacked 4 times last week. And when Easton Stick came in, he got sacked twice in the second half. And before that, Herbert got taken down 4 times. So you can find a bet later in this week for Crosby to get sacked. I would take that. I'm going to go ahead and put half a unit on Khalil Mack to get over 0.75 sacks. So give me that one right there. That's how we're going to end the stream today. We're going to come back tomorrow with a little more stuff. This is my first day working and then getting the thing together. So I'm going to try to get everything a lot more, kind of easy going for you guys for tomorrow's game. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our platforms, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere, on Threads, even anywhere you guys can find us. Make sure you guys tune in. We have a great show for you guys tomorrow. We have a lot of great shows for you guys over this week. Make sure you guys tune in. Thank you guys for watching, and let's turn around that day yesterday and make this one a good one.